Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Nisa, and welcome to the Boss Up Hub. We come on every Thursday at 7 o'clock so that we can give you wonderful tips to get you bossed up in your business. So, we're going to let a few people come on so that we can talk about this most important topic tonight. Because if you have a business or if you're aspiring to get a business, you need this information. So I'm going to go ahead and try to share this information to my other pages so that the Boss Up Hub on Facebook can get this as well. And some of my viewers on YouTube can get this information and they'll have that as well. And then we'll get to talking to our wonderful guests that we have here tonight. So if you know someone that's in business or looking to be in business for themselves, go ahead and put their name in the comment section so that we can help them level up their business as well. And as you know, sharing is caring. We want you to share this information out there onto your pages so other people can get what we have to offer tonight. So, as I am putting this on Facebook for others to see, I want you to go ahead and kind of tell me who you are. Put some comments in the section. Just say hello. Thank you, Eric, for coming on tonight. We appreciate you being here with us as we talk about Dunn's number. And that's so important. I've talked to so many people about this particular topic, and they're like, what do you do with this? How do you go about getting it and stuff? Okay. So, as I am doing this, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know who I am. I am Dr. Nisa. I am a nationally recognized chiropractor and business coach. I help aspiring entrepreneurs maximize their time so they can successfully open up their business without making costly mistakes so they can do what? Yes, you know it. Turn their dreams into dividends. I'm so excited tonight. I have on the show Dion Aiken, and Dion Aiken is going to give us some insight on the Dunn's number because he used to work for Dunn and Bradstreet. So I think when you're getting information, you want to get it from the horse's mouth. So we want to make sure that you are getting the correct information, the concise and clear information from the horse's mouth. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and have Mr. Aiken go ahead and introduce himself to you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Dion Aiken. I am a former employee of Dun and Bradstreet. It was many years ago that I was a consultant for Dun and Bradstreet, and that is what brought me to Georgia in the Atlanta area. I worked for Dun and Bradstreet probably for about 6 years, formerly in North Carolina, in Greensboro, and in the Atlanta area for about 2 or 3 years before I left the company. Um, but now I work for a software company as a compliance and security specialist. But I'm glad and excited to be here and be able to share some information with everyone.
Okay, very good. So, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be talking about the Dunn's number and what it is, why you need one, and how to start using it today. Because I will tell you, I have been in company of so many business leaders, business owners, and they tell me they don't even have a Dunn's number and that they've been doing everything using their social security number. So let's talk about what a Dunn's number is. What is a Dunn's number?
Well, let me give you a little bit of history of Dun and Bradstreet and the company. Dun and Bradstreet is a company that's almost 200 years old. To be honest, I think they were established originally in 1841 by a gentleman named by the name of Lewis Tappan. The company went through several changes. Mr. Tappan went into a partnership with I think it was Benjamin Douglas, who was a former clerk, and that happened in about 1849. Um, and then Mr. Douglas took the company in a different direction. And the company was originally established to help merchants with their decision making uh, so they could understand which merchants were good to deal with. And you got to think back way back in 1841, this was valuable information, you
Right.
know. Um, and in a, in about I think it was let's see, around 1849, yeah, is when shortly after Mr. Douglas joined the agency. Uh, he began establishing local offices and hiring full-time employees who became experienced and skilled reporters and interpreters of credit information. Um, During that time, we've had, I think Dun& Bradstreet has had 4 former U.S. presidents work for them, one of
Mm.
which being Abraham Lincoln, one being Ulysses S. Grant, one being Grover Cleveland, and I think William McKinley is the other one. Um, so, you know, Dun& Bradstreet has a long history of doing what is considered business credit and reporting on businesses. Like I said before, they've been doing this for almost 200 years. So it's a pretty well established company. And what your DUNS number is, basically in 1963, um, the introduction of what was called the Data Universal Numbering System, because more and more businesses were coming in, so they had to have some way of tracking these businesses. And so they came up with the Data Universal Numbering System, which is what DUNS stands for, DUNS. And it's to identify businesses numerically for data processing purposes and help bring business information into the computer age. So that's basically what the DUNS number is. Not to be confused with your EIN number. The EIN number is given by the federal government. That's for tax purposes. Your DUNS number is given to you by Dun & Bradstreet, and it is like your business social security number.
Okay. So, if you're planning on seeking small business financing, enter into any type of partnerships, or simply trying to establish company financing, the DUNS number is what you want to have because it create a major impact for you. We have a question before we move
Mhm.
into something else. One of our viewers has said, I've been contacted several times about buying services from Duns and Bradstreet, supposedly to help me help their Duns number, but they've heard that this was a bad idea. Can you get some insight on this? I think he's talking about maybe those subscriptions, like you
Yeah,
get a free number, then they have the next level, and then they
yeah.
have that huge package. So kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. It's probably have changed a lot since I've been with the company, but here's one thing to understand. There's no fee for your DUNS number. That is free, just like your social security number. The government gives you that, it's free, it's no charge. That's their way of tracking your business. What Dun & Bradstreet does offer, though, is other services for sales and marketing, help you do third-party risk and compliance. They do government services. Um, these are things that are to help you establish your credit profile. Now, here's the thing that you're not told is that you can do this on your own. Some of the stuff you can do on your own, such as sending in your financials to Dun & Bradstreet. When I was a consultant with them, one of my jobs was to go to different businesses, and I would go out to these businesses in my territory, visit them. I would consult with them, and I would gather from them their financials. I would get their P&L statements, which is the profit and loss statement, and I would get their balance sheets, and that would help us at Dun & Bradstreet determine their credit worthiness and the business strength. You know, if they had a strong balance sheet and profit and loss statement, we could give them a better rating and a credit rating. Um, I do remember a story. I have a couple of stories about how much your Dun & Bradstreet score can affect you. There was one company, I will not name them, but they're a large company. They're in the temporary services business, and they had one thing on their Dun & Bradstreet report that was holding them up from securing another large contract with a bigger company. What it was, that company was saying, oh yeah, we may use this company to do some of our temporary hiring. But when they pulled the Dun and Bradstreet report, they did not like what they saw. So this company called us and said, hey, what can I do to fix this? So we helped them with saying, okay, yeah, we see what's wrong here. You need to do X, Y, Z to fix this. And that's what some of the services that they offer. So when you're being contacted by them to do some of the paid for services, it's you can do it. Um, I don't know if it's really necessary. Some of the stuff you can do on your own, but then when you get into more, I guess, elaborate stuff or more complicated things, you may want to use some of their consultants.
All right, so we have another question. I think that was an excellent question to bring up. And before we get into the next question, I guess the one that prompted me to ask you was: are you able to send your profit and loss statements and your balance sheets directly into Dun and Bradstreet on your own? And I guess that'll lead into the question that we have in front of us: is will that automatically start your business credit score when you get the DUNS number? So you got two questions on the table. When you
Uh,
get the DUNS number, do you start automatically getting a credit score? And then two, how if not, can the balance sheet and the profit loss statement move you toward that direction?
okay, question number one: do you automatically start a business credit report once you get your DUNS number? Yes. Once you get your DUNS number, again, it's just like your Social Security number. So here's what I recommend people to do once they get a DUNS number. Once you get a DUNS number, you put that DUNS number on everything that you uh, apply for as far as business credit. If you go to Office Depot to set up an office account, put the DUNS number on that application. If you go to Home Depot to buy supplies for your business, put the DUNS number on your application for credit.
What
If you're
about
accepting credit.
services? Like if you had to get insurance or anything like that, could you put your DUNS number on that? Or is it just for physical goods?
It's not just for physical goods. Anything where there's any type of financial transaction that can show some type of what we would like to call a trade history, you want to put that on there. And then insurance payments and keeping very good insurance policies is another thing that will count towards that. One of the things that you can do, or what may happen, is that as you establish your trade lines on your Dun and Bradstreet report, make sure you list things that you have and that you pay. If it's an insurance policy that you pay in your business, list it on there. If it's again, if it's an office supply account, list it on there. If it's a gas card, if you have a fleet of vehicles or anything, if it's a gas card, or even if you run a home-based business, but you use a gas card under your business name to put gas in your car to run errands, you put that on there. No matter how small you may think it is, put it on there so it can start establishing your credit history.
Okay, before you answer my next question, I just want to tell a couple of people thank you for watching. Katrina, thanks so much for watching. Dr. Lindy's here. Dr. Hassan is here tonight. Walt, thank you so much for watching. Merritt, thank you. Shannon, thank you so much for watching. Melissa, thanks so much. Dr. Donnie, thanks so much for watching. And Marlana, thanks so much for watching. So the second loaded question was, okay, so we're gonna get our DUNS number. It's gonna start our business credit score right then. And the question I asked was about the P&Ls and the balance sheets. Do we immediately start sending those in? How does that work?
Well, I know the old way was, yes, you could immediately send those in and upload, and I'm sure that has not changed in the years. I think the way it works now, when you go onto the Dun and Bradstreet website and you request your account and get your number, you can set up an account, and with that account, I think you can upload your information to the Dun and Bradstreet website, and they will attach those P&Ls and balance sheets to your file.
Okay, very good. So let's go ahead and move to our next question. Okay, so we've kind of talked about what a DUNS number is, and it's being that unique number that kind of used to identify your business. We want to use it for our financial stability so that we can start having business lines of credit, and that way we don't have to always have to use and be dependent on our own credit reports to do business with other businesses. So we've already discussed really a little bit on why you need one, but why would a business really want to get a DUNS number? Why is that important? I now I understand that when you have government contracts and such, it is imperative that you have a DUNS number. But why would you want one? Why do you need one as a business
Well,
owner?
let me give you some tips here. For one, a DUNS number is unique to your business. Unlike an EIN number, a business can have more than one EIN number, but you can only have one DUNS number for your business. It's persistent, it's consistent, and it's unique for the life of your entity. Um, it can be assigned to certain sole proprietorships, so you don't have to be a corporation or anything. Um, it is only assigned to a valid business identity. So if you're not a legitimate business, you won't get a DUNS number. So it kind of validates your business in a way. So if you have a DUNS number, it validates you. It says, oh, this is a legitimate business. This business is operating within the lines. The other thing is that it has global coverage. Unlike your EIN number, outside of the US, nobody else cares about your EIN number. It means nothing. It's a federal tax ID number, no one cares. But your DUNS number goes with you no matter where you go. If you're in France, if you're in London, everyone knows what a DUNS number is, and they're able to identify your business via that DUNS number. So
Okay.
those are some things that is why you would want to get one. And one main thing that most people don't know, or they may know and just have not realized it, that if you want to do government contracting at any point in your business lifetime, you better have a DUNS number. You cannot do business with the federal government without a DUNS number. You cannot do federal contracting for the government without one.
Okay, so you've heard it. You need to have the DUNS number in order to do a business with the government. So if you're going to be applying for any grants or any cooperatives from the federal government, you best to have a DUNS number in place. I know that the DUNS number is very useful for obtaining financing for your business or enter into any vendor contracts, or sometimes these are just forming some partnerships with other businesses. You have to have the DUNS number in place. So I would like to know, like, what are some of the general pieces of information that they ask you for when you're applying for a DUNS number?
Well, one of the things is, like, of course, your business name, the legal business entity name. Um, they want to know your address. They want to know the phone number. Of course, now we have email addresses. If you have a web presence, they would want to know that. They want to know the offices of the company. What's your business structure? Are you sole proprietorship? Or your partnership? Or your C corp, S corp, LLC, LLP? Whichever one of the business entities you may be, they want to know that. If you fall under those categories, that you have officers, they want to know who the officers are. If you're an LLC, they want to know who the members are, who are the managing members. If you're a partnership, who are the partners? They want to know your SIC codes. So what is your business SIC code? What do you fall? What industry do you fall in? So those are some of the basic things that they want. And yes, of course, they want to know your financials. They want to know your business history, how long you've been doing what you do, what your line of work, who are some of your potential customers.
Okay. And I think another thing that they may ask you is whether or not you have employees or not. And if you have employees, they want to
Absolutely.
know the number
Number
of
of
employees
employees.
that you have. So
Another thing that they may ask as well is, what's your annual sales?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are your annual sales look like? What is your gross profit, your net profit? You know,
Okay.
so
Well, I know long gone are the days of trying to use your own social security number to get your business established. You really should be using your DUNS number on everything and letting the business be its own standalone entity
yes,
without you. And so I tell people all the time, it's just as you need to establish personal credit history for yourself to get approved for loans and credit cards. It's the same thing that you need to do for your business. But I think Duns won't. I don't think you can use your Duns number to get credit card, but you can definitely get lines of credit with other businesses with it. So that I know that that is your first step in order to do that. And once your numbers is established, I mean, the sky is the limit as it relates to financial transactions for your business, and in developing this credibility and as well as building wonderful financial history for your business is just a wonderful thing and wonderful tool to have in your tool belt as your business is growing. I know another wonderful reason to have the DUNS number is that you're able to track your credit report. You're able to look and see what's going on with you in your business and the health of your business as yours before you even apply for a loan. You'll have the DUNS number and the information that you've been sending to them to help you with that. Having the strength of your balance statements and your P&Ls will also help you obtain financing as you have everything in that universal system. Because I want to say DUNS is an acronym for something, right? I want to say the U means universal something, but the other thing is that, and you can give us some light on that in just a moment. I know it helps you with the government contracts. So those of you that are trying to get into getting some of those millions and millions of dollars that the government has out there, the federal government definitely requires all of its contractors have the DUNS number. If you're trying to appeal to potential partners for other business to partners with you, you have to do that. And I thought that this was a wonderful piece of information because it wasn't when I got my DUNS number. This wasn't even out there. But if you're trying to develop apps, you have to have a DUNS number now to be able to do that. So some of my techie folks and my IT people out there, if you're looking to do that, you want to have that. If you're trying to register as a supplier, you have to have the DUNS number to do that. And if you're trying to apply for your SSL certificate, which allows companies to make their websites more secure, you have to you it's recommended that you have the DUNS number. You don't necessarily have to have it, but it's recommended that you have that because now you're able to get your process done much quicker because they can look at your information and see that it's credible and it doesn't take you through all of the unnecessary steps that you would have to go through if you did not have it. So let's talk about what that DUNS mean, because I want to say that it's definitely a acronym for something. It's like it stands for like data something, right? What is it? I want to say it's Data Universal Numbering System. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like it? That
that
the
is
term
that
does?
is absolutely correct. Data Universal Numbering System. That's what it
Right,
stands for.
right. I want to say that, and I think that it's great that you have this tool and you have this avenue for all these different companies that you may wish to work with to be able to go to one general area and to be able to find your information. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you want to do business with a company. You could just direct them to this one universal company that will do this for you. So,
Yeah.
how do you start using this DUN number today? What is a good tip on, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go on the site, I'm going to get my DUNS number. What do I need to do today to get busy?
Well, all you have to do is go to Dun and Bradstreet's website, which is D Delta November Bravo, so DNB.com, and just go to the section. This is I want a DUNS number. Apply for a DUNS number. I think
All
it's
right.
a section at the top of the page that says DUNS number. When you click on that, it'll tell you how to get your DUNS number. And it's pretty much instant. Once you fill out the information about your business, it's they'll once you completed all of that, it will give you your DUNS number. It will send
Okay,
it to
so
you.
we have a question that has come in. Yolanda, thanks so much for asking this question. But before I ask it, I'm just going to tell some other people hello. Um, Grayson, thanks for watching. Michelle, thanks for watching. Michael, thanks for watching. Erica and Na, thanks for watching. She says, Yolanda asks, how do you use the DUNS number to establish lines of credit? And I think we may have talked about this a little bit, but let's go through a scenario. I have my DUNS number, and she says she only uses it on contract applications, but tell her how to use it more so it's more robust for her company.
Okay. Here's one of the things I know that the company used to do, and they may still do it. But again, like I said earlier in this webcast, put your DUNS number on every application that you fill out for credit. Whether it's with Office Depot, whether it's with Home Depot, whether it's through any of your suppliers, put it on everything. The other thing you can do is report your trade lines to Dun& Bradstreet. Says, hey, I have established credit with XYZ. I know formally in the past they had a trade package that they would automatically look for these trade lines for you. And again, it may be something that they sell now, but again, you can do it yourself. You can call them, or I think with the online way of doing it, you can go ahead and report these trade lines to them. So any line of credit that you establish under your business, report it to Dun & Bradstreet so they can start going to them and asking for information.
So this is the vital area that a lot of business owners are making a mistake. They are putting their EIN on these applications instead of using their DUNS number, and the EIN is doing nothing for you to secure a paper trail as what your business is doing and how much money that they're spending on doing business with other businesses. Your EIN, guys, is for taxes only. Tax.
Absolutely. You're just helping Uncle Sam track you by putting your EIN number on there. That's not helping your business credit one bit. Use your DUNS number for that. If you want to establish credit, use your DUNS number. Now, Dun & Bradstreet is not the only place that does business credit, but they're the authority on it. Experian, I think now does, can report on your business credit, and maybe some of the other, consumer credit stuff can report. But Dun & Bradstreet is the most respected and the longest at doing business credit. They're going to be the first call, the first authority that people look at as it pertains to your business credit.
Very, very good. Yolanda said, "Yep, that's what I do." But you'd be surprised how many people that are putting that EIN on those applications, or the other thing is that they're using their social security number for the line of credit. Now they're going to be vetting against your personal credit instead of vetting against your business credit.
Absolutely.
And to me, if we had to do something like how to start using it today, stop putting your EIN and your social security number on these applications and start using the Dun & Bradstreet number. At that time, stop using what you've been using and let's start using this number so that we can establish good credit for your business. So yeah, sometimes Yolanda said the EIN is on application most often. I don't recall applications with DNB. Thank you. Yeah, you want to start establishing your credit. I want to say hello to Janice. Thanks so much for watching. Jamaica, thank you so much for watching. Emo, thank you so much for watching. So yeah, a lot of times we don't do this right. And so
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, even if there's not a space on an application for your DUNS number, write it on the application, handwrite it in, pencil it in on the top, and say, hey, you're not asking for it, but I'm giving it to you because I do have a DUNS number for my business. So don't let that deter you.
Right, exactly. I think we have someone else that has just joined us. Thank you, Shamika, for watching and tuning in tonight. So yeah, so if you don't have one takeaway from tonight is that I need to get it and I need to start using. I need to start using it. I also know a lot of people who have the number and they just don't use it. And so what's the point of having it if it's not going to be a tool for you? And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot in the Boss Up Hub is making sure that we're using our tools strategically. There's no need to have them if we're not going to use them properly. So before we get out of here, Dion, let's share some mind-blowing tips for our watchers to use and build their business credit, because this is a number one question we get in the Boss Up Hub is always about finances. They want to know about money. So leave some takeaway tips on how we can increase your business credit with using your DUNS number.
Okay, I don't know if these are going to be mind-blowing tips, but they're going to be some good tips. Um, Number one, get it and use it. Get it and use it. Obtain a number if you don't already have it. If you do have the number, put the number on every application for credit. All right. All right. So here's some quick tips you can do. Number one, if you have a number, get a copy of your credit report. Get a copy of your DUNS report to see what it looks like. I don't know if they charge you for that now, but I think you may get one for a year without charge. But don't quote me on that. I would have to go back and check. Um, Number two tip: pay your bills on time. Sounds simple. The tips I'm going to give you are going to be no different than what you should do for your consumer credit report. Pay your bills. Just simply do that. Uh, the third tip I can probably give you is decrease your credit utilization ratio. If you have high credit, pay off your balances. If you have some credit cards in your business name that's maxed out, pay them down, or ask for a higher limit. You can decrease your credit card spending if you can. Open a new line of credit, um, so you can have that reporting on your DNB report. Um, and pay your bills more than once a month. I know people have heard this method of the biweekly payment option that cuts your interest rates in half. It also helps you pay off your bills quicker. The other thing you can do is establish credit accounts with suppliers. If you're in a business where you get um, supplies from someone, let's say that maybe you have a boutique like Dr. Jones, and you have to buy apparel or whatnot. You can, if you have those suppliers, those apparel suppliers, establish credit accounts with them instead of just paying cash all the time. Get some credit accounts, establish a credit file. If you go and shop at Office Depot all the time, go ahead and get the Office Depot credit card for your business. Yeah, pay it off at the end of the month, but get that credit card so you can just start establishing a business credit profile. Um, and also add positive payment experiences to your credit file. Again, Dun& Bradstreet, you can report your stuff to them. Don't always look for them to find it for you. If you have some information that you want them to know about, report that information to Dun& Bradstreet. Says, hey, I have an account over here with these people. I've had it for 5 years, and I have a good payment history with them. Please add this account to my trade lines on my credit report, and they'll do it. But those are 5 tips or maybe 6 tips. I don't know how many I just told you, but those are great tips that you can use. And last but not least, once you get your credit report, if you see some stuff on the business credit report that doesn't look right, just like your consumer credit report, dispute any errors or inquiries. Just dispute it. Hey, look, this doesn't look right. I don't, you may get your report and figure out that, hey, I never opened an account with this company. I never had anything over here. If you see stuff like that, dispute it. They'll get it taken care of.
I love it. So, before we get to our next question, I just want to tell Dr. Jackson, hello, Dr. Petrino. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Okay, so here's another one of our questions, and I think this is a really good one because we need to, because we did talk about this a little bit, and we want people to kind of have some clarity on this. So Yolanda wants to know, do you omit the EIN from the applications altogether? I think this is one of those, not a and or, but it's both, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't omit the EIN if it asks for it on the application, put it on there. I mean, they're asking for it for a reason. Um, but just remember that the EIN is doing nothing for your credit, your business credit. Again, that's just your tracking your taxes. That's Uncle Sam's tracker. What you want to do is make sure that if the EIN is on there, go ahead and put it on. If the Dun and Bradstreet number is asked for, definitely put it on. And even if they do not ask for it and you have a Dun and Bradstreet number, write it on there. Put DNB number, period, colon, whatever, and then put the number there.
Right, because the whole point is for you to be establishing your business credit. We want to stop putting the social security number on these applications. We want the business to be its own fully established entity that's running independently from you, the owner. Okay, so that's the reason why we want to establish this business credit. Does anybody have any other questions tonight? I just want to go through some of these wonderful tips. I thought it was just great. I think the very first thing we got to make sure we're doing, as business owners, is after we get this DUNS number, is we got to start sending our financials in. If you're not sending these financials in to establish your credit, then you're not going to be able to do it what needs to be done with this tool. So we want to send the P&Ls in. We want to send our balance sheets, and that means profit and loss statements. So each year, those are things that are derived when you do your taxes. So you also want to make sure, as Dion was saying, you want to get a copy of your DUNS report. And you want to make sure you're paying your bills on time. You want to reduce credit utilization ratio. We want to reduce credit card spending and open up some new accounts. We want to pay our bills more frequently. So instead of once a month paying our bills, we want to do them twice a month. And if there are some errors that are on our report that we get, we want to dispute those errors so we would have a better credit report score. So
Yep.
I love it. So any last words on Dunn's number?
Yeah, one other thing that I want to add that's really important. Your scoring. Um, and again, I don't think it's changed much from when I was there. How you're scored. That's and part of it is on your financial strength, the experience of the company, and then your credit history. So your financial strength. When we said, "Hey, send in your profit and loss statements and your balance sheets," that helps to show your financial strength. Some businesses are cash rich and they don't use a lot of credit. So if you're cash rich, they may look at that and say, "Hey, they don't utilize credit because they have 10 million in the bank. They don't need credit. They can self finance a lot of stuff." Um, but if you're one of those businesses that you're not very cash heavy, they'll look at your credit history and says, "Well, okay, they don't have a whole lot of money. They didn't do a whole lot in profits, but they have excellent payment histories with their trade lines. They don't have any bad marks. The company hasn't filed for a bankruptcy or anything. No collections or judgments against them. So they're strong. We would say that they're strong credit worthy. Um, but again, it's a balancing act. They're going to look at all of it. They're going to put it all together. Say, okay, yep, this is here, this is here. This is a strong company, or this may not be. This is here, but this may not be here. But they're still looking good. So just make sure you understand how your business is scored. Give the information that you need to make yourself look good.
Oh, very, very well. Okay, so let me just make sure our audience has those things on how their score is determined. You said the strength of their financials. You said the experience of the business. Was that the only two, or was that it?
And the credit worthiness,
And the credit worthiness.
how they establish the trade lines and how those trade lines are doing. If you can if you got bad credit, you just have bad credit. I mean, but you can fix that as we all know. You just pay your bills on time. It may take a little time to turn some things around, but do it, you know. So put the good paying accounts on there and put the the bad paying accounts, let them find them out on their own. So,
Okay, historically with Dunn's, is it similar to how the time frame that it takes for your own personal credit worthiness to be reestablished? Is it the same when it comes to your business, or is it faster, or is it more lengthier process?
well, I think with your business, I think it's about the same process. You know,
Mhm.
once your credit is bad, it's going to take you a while to get it back. You're going to have to show some type of payment history, um, to where you've done well with handling paying your bills. Um, Again, though, you can be very cash rich, and it's you still may get a better score if your business is very cash rich. Let's say that if you're doing $10 million in business a year, and you have a profit of 5 million, they may look at that and say, well, they don't pay their bills on time, but it's not that like they're hurting for cash,
Right.
so they may come in and a consultant may ask you, says, hey, what's happening with your company as to why you're not being able to get these things paid on time. Might just have a bad accountant or a bad bookkeeper that just doesn't pay stuff when they're supposed to pay it,
Okay.
you know.
Well, this information has just been great. I want to just thank you for sharing that with us tonight. I'm quite sure people are going to use all of these tips so they can boss up their business, and if they haven't started their business, they're going to use it when they do. But I do want to just let you know that if you are in need of more assistance with your business, I am here for you as a business coach and consultant. You can go to bossupfast.com. It is on the screen right now to do a consultation with me, and we'll kind of see where your needs are and do a needs assessment for you. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, I am Dr. Nisa. I am a nationally recognized chiropractor and business coach. I help aspiring entrepreneurs maximize their time by giving them the blueprint to successfully open up their business without making costly mistakes so they can do what? You know it. Turn those dreams into dividends. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Boss Up Hub tonight. And we're on every Thursday at 7 o'clock. Either it'll be myself giving you some tips, or I have some of my super friends with me. And tonight we had my super friend, Dion Aiken, better known as my other half. This is who keeps me on track with IT as well as business tips. So I'm glad to have him as at walking this journey with me. So if you need me, you know where to find me. Thank you so much.